The NBA is back! Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA season has finally tipped off. And you guys know, I know, everyone knows that this has been one of, if not the most anticipated NBA season that we have seen in quite some time. After the summer of moves just went down where star players were swapping teams left and right, now we finally get to see how it's all going to play out on the hardwood. Guys, it started off with a bang, didn't it? The NBA season started off with an absolute bang. We had a couple of games last night, the Toronto Raptors with the New Orleans Pelicans, as well as the battle for LA, the Lakers versus the Clippers. Night numero uno only could have been made better by Zion Williamson playing. But we all know that we're going to have to wait 6 to 8 weeks minimum to see Zion make his official NBA debut. And that's what we're going to start off with talking about today. We're going to start off talking about the first game that we had go down last night, which was the Raptors versus the Pelicans. And for the Toronto Raptors, this was a very historic night. This was the night where the players received their championship rings, as well as a night where the organization got to lift their first championship banner up into the rafters. Congratulations. Absolutely congratulations to the Toronto Raptors. This was a well-deserved championship ring. Really happy for guys like Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, the big dude, freaking the Spanish guy, Marc Gasol. He's deserved a ring. He's had a fabulous career, only needed a ring. And it was also a very class move by the organization to make replica rings to give away to some of the fans. It's something that I like to see more organizations doing because it's acknowledging the part that the fans play when it comes to winning a championship. Home court advantage means nothing without the fans, right? They showed their support through all these years in which the Raptors never won a championship, continue to fill the arena. So it's really nice to see the Raptors organization kind of give back to some of the fans. And like I said, this is something that I like to see more teams doing as they win championships. All of that being said though, now let's actually talk about what happened in this game, because it was a great game even though there was no Zion Williamson. A great game in which the Raptors came away with the 130 to 122 overtime win over the Pelicans. Pascal Siakam, fresh off getting that max contract extension, $130 million, silenced any doubters that he might have had over earning that much money last night. First off, I just want to say that Pascal Siakam 100% deserves that money, and I don't know why there was so much confusion as to whether or not the Raptors should pay Pascal Siakam a max contract extension. Look, here's the thing, people. You don't let a player like Pascal Siakam go. You don't let him go over trying to save a few $1 million. You can overpay certain players, and it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine because the Toronto Raptors need Pascal Siakam. He's a great player. Will he ever become a player who's like a top 10 player who deserves a max contract like this? Who knows? Who knows? But you don't just let a player like Pascal Siakam walk because you wanted to give him $115 million over $130 million. That would be dumb. And I'd rather be dumb for overpaying a player a little than be dumb for letting a player like Pascal Siakam walk. So I don't see what the big fuss over that was. And once again, last night, he showed us exactly why the Toronto Raptors just paid him so much money. 34 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. He did foul out in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, which was huge. At that point, I'm not going to lie, I thought that the New Orleans Pelicans might actually pull this thing out. I was like, well, there goes the Toronto Raptors' best player, and that might have been the case had it not been for Fred VanVleet. This guy was amazing in the finals last year against the Golden State Warriors, against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Last night, though, the man looked like Stephen Curry out there. 34 points, 5 of 7 from 3, and had 7 assists as well. Fred VanVleet, the new starter for the Toronto Raptors. This guy, undrafted, absolutely incredible story. NBA champion now, and coming out in opening night and absolutely torching the New Orleans Pelicans. And speaking of the New Orleans Pelicans, they weren't bad. They definitely weren't bad. They could have used Zion Williamson, but Brandon Ingram did his thing. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Lonzo Ball couldn't get his shots to fall, had 5 rebounds, 5 assists to go with like 7 points. Drew Holiday struggled with this shot. JJ Redick was JJ Redick, and Josh Hart was nice off the bench. But for the Pelicans, I'm worried already. I'm more than worried. I think this is a state of panic for the New Orleans Pelicans just because they're in the Western Conference, in a very competitive Western Conference this year, and they're going to be without their star player for 6 to 8 weeks. 2 months. 2 months of basketball. That's going to be a big hole for the Pelicans to try and dig themselves out of when Zion returns. And I say it's going to be a hole because just over the next 4 weeks alone, the Pelicans have one of the toughest schedules in the entire NBA. In the entire NBA. Over the next 4 weeks, half the time Zion's going to be out, they have to play the Mavericks, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Nuggets. They have a game against the Thunder after that, but then it's back to the Nets, the Raptors, the Hornets. Okay, I'll give them that one. Then you got the Rockets, the Clippers, the Heat, the Warriors, the Blazers. You got the Suns after that. And then you got the Jazz, Clippers, and Lakers. That's how the Pelicans are starting off without Zion Williamson in a very competitive Western Conference where every game is going to count. We've seen teams in the West for the past few years miss the playoffs by a sliver. I'm talking about a game, a half a game, a tiebreaker. That's what the Pelicans are going to be up against from the get-go because they don't have Zion Williamson. And a lot of those teams are probably not going to be able to beat without Zion Williamson. Let's keep it 100% here. And the Pelicans only win 3 of their next, how many games is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's like 15, 16 games. If the Pelicans start off 3-13, 3-12, 4-11, something like that, that's a massive hole to dig themselves out of, and that's just over a month. They'll still have to go another whole month without Zion Williamson. That's not boding well for JJ Redick's playoff streak whatsoever, but we'll see how this plays out. Maybe the Pelicans surprise us all and steal some games that they should have no business winning without Zion, but it's going to be a very rough start to the season for the New Orleans Pelicans. Now though, let's talk about the highlight of the night. Not saying that that game wasn't great, and if you're a Raptors fan, of course it was the highlight of your night, but we all know that the majority of people out here we're just dying to see the Los Angeles Lakers go up against the Los Angeles Clippers, the battle of LA. And it was just as good as advertised. All right, this game got us all a little excited for the future of this new supposed to be rivalry. Of course, the Clippers playing without Paul George, and then the Lakers without Rajon Rondo last night. Kawhi Leonard, though. Let me talk about this man, Kawhi Leonard. Dude comes out in his Clippers debut and smacks LeBron James and Anthony Davis upside the head for 30 points. Drops 30 on them in the season debut. Man only scored like 2 points in the first quarter. Got his first 2 points in like the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. And after that, it was just straight freaking flames. Couldn't miss. This is just Kawhi Leonard. He's a guy who, when he gets the ball, he does something so unremarkable and comes away with 2 or 3 points. He was finding teammates last night. They say that Kawhi Leonard doesn't have the best chemistry with the Clippers already, and of course he doesn't. This is his first game. Didn't get to play much of training camp. Got to play the preseason, but didn't get to play much of training camp. First game with a brand new team. Chemistry is not going to be 100% there, and that goes for both sides here. LeBron's still trying to figure out AD, and then you got players in the Lakers still trying to figure out AD. You have a lot of people trying to figure out other people, so no team's going to be 100% the first game of the season. Let's get that straight. These teams are still developing chemistry, all that great stuff. But I want to say that despite all of that, Kawhi Leonard still looked extremely comfortable out there on the court with his teammates. He was finding with passes. I think he finished with 5 or 6 assists. And when he passed, guys were knocking down their shots. The Los Angeles Clippers are scary good. They won this game 112 to 102. Anthony Davis had 25 points, but LeBron James only had 18 points last night and pretty much completely disappeared during the second half. In the fourth quarter, when the Lakers turned the ball over 6 times, LeBron James committed 3 of those turnovers. LeBron James did not look like LeBron James, especially during the second half last night. And I guess that could be because it's, once again, the first game of the season. Players might not play their best during the first game of the season, even though Danny Green was out there making it look like he'd been playing all summer long. 6 of 6 from 3 in the third quarter, 18 points, finished the game with 28 points, barely could miss from outside. But LeBron James in the second half just absolutely disappeared. And we have to remember that LeBron James hasn't gone this long without playing professional basketball since like the very beginning stages of his career. I'm talking about rookie year, second year in the league, right? Because LeBron James is used to going on these deep playoff runs, not finished playing till May or even June. He stopped playing after the season. 9 games before the season ended last year, LeBron James stopped playing. He's been off for months. This has been the longest time in a long time, maybe in his entire career actually, that LeBron James has gone without playing professional basketball, and it definitely showed during the second half. But that's not to take any credit away from the Clippers defense, because during game 1 of the season, the Clippers defense was already looking magnificent. Held the Lakers to 102 points. That's lower than the average of the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. And this is a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're holding that to 102 points. This Clippers defense is already next level. You had Mo Harkless, off the bench getting 4 steals, playing some terrific defense. Patrick Patterson playing great defense. Montrezl Harrell, great defense. JaMychal Green, great defense. Patrick Beverley, great defense. Kawhi Leonard, nothing needs to be said. Of course, you're going to have great defense there too. Overall, the Los Angeles Clippers as a team defensively were so freaking good. And that's not even to mention their bench scoring. Yo, this Los Angeles Clippers team has the best bench in the league. Easily right now. From what I'm seeing, the Clippers bench is a lot better than some teams starting 5. All right, Lou Williams, he's going to come off the bench every night and do his thing. Same with Montrezl Harrell. Those two off the bench are getting you 30 to 35 points every single night right there. But I also really like what I was seeing from Mo Harkless, as well as JaMychal Green. Patrick Patterson, once Paul George is going to be coming off the bench as well. And that leads me to another big point. The Clippers still didn't even have Paul George last night. They looked this good, offensively and defensively, without Paul George. There's no question that this team right now has to be the favorite to win the whole thing. Because just from last night, you can see that this Clippers team is always going to be great on defense, even when their shots not falling. You're going to have a hard time scoring against them. They're always going to have that bench present just in case Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and company have an off night in the starting lineup. They have a great coach. They're going to have the fan support behind them. They're going to grow more and more fans as the season progresses. I mean, the Clippers, they're for sure for real. And I don't think that should be a surprise to anyone. This team is going to be legendary. That, though, is actually going to cover everything that happened in the NBA yesterday. We just had 2 games tipping off opening night. That being said, we have a whole host of games going down tonight in day 2. This is where all the other teams get to shine. So we get to see a lot more tonight. And I'm so excited. Once again, this NBA season is going to be something special. So if you haven't already and you want videos like this every Monday through Friday, throughout the course of the entire NBA season, then go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you are as excited about the season as I am, also go ahead and drop a like on this video to show your excitement for the season. That being said, though, until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!